I don't think I did it right that time either. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of Don't Know Radio. Here with my co-host Vogel. How are you doing today, guy?
Kevin, that scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm doing pretty well. How you doing today?
Good, dude. I think it was just one of those things where I put too much thought going into it. Like I was ready to do it and just totally botched it. Speaking of botching, this is our third take, folks.
Our third take, yeah. So we're going to give a little shade to our editor. We won't name who that is. Unnamed. But, unnamed. He's had some technical difficulties today, along with his head just not being in the game. So he feels ready to go. And, yeah, we're going to give him some slack today. How about – I think that's all right.
Yeah, exactly. So we're giving this another shot. Sometimes you just got to tear something down and start fresh.
Rome wasn't built in a day, so I think we'll be okay.
Exactly. So let's get into it then. We need to acknowledge, well, first of all, thank you to everyone that tuned into episode 2. We got a lot of great feedback from friends and mostly family that we spammed and told everyone to listen to. People said really good things, so thank you so much. And what was our total play count, Vogues? What do we think it was?
Yeah, so our total play count was about, I think, a little over 100. We might have been just right at 100. So, once you get those 3 digits next to your views, that's when you've really made it.
Bitch, this is fame, not clout. Wow.
Yes. And so, Kev, I know, didn't your mom say something to you about how you've been acting a little different?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she said I'm really letting it get to my head. I'm not treating others the same. But I'm like, Mom, don't speak to me like I'm the Kevin from 2 weeks ago. I'm at a higher place.
Yeah, I've changed.
Yeah, that just ain't me. Say goodbye.
Yes, exactly. So I totally agree with you there, Kev.
All right. Hey. So real quick, Vogues, we due to our breakout success. Sorry, I was talking away. Let me make sure I'm talking into my microphone so we don't have a fourth issue. We have a new sponsor. We have an official sponsor of the Don't Know Radio podcast. It's our buddy Dan's parents' business, given them the quarantine, the lockdown. It's a really tough time on the economy, specifically small businesses. So we're happy to help out in any way we can. Vogel, tell us a little bit about All Occasion Tent Rental.
Yeah, so thanks, Kev. We're really excited to partner with All Occasion Tent Rental. If you're in central Indiana or the surrounding area, if you need tents, tables, maybe chairs for any occasion like a wedding or a grad party that's been postponed due to COVID, or maybe some outdoor seating for a restaurant that you're opening back up, you got to go see All Occasion Tent Rental. Whatever the occasion, we've got you covered. And so their website right now, I'll read it off to you, alloccasiontentrental.com. So that's for all of our Neanderthal followers, that is alloccasiontentrental.com. That's .com. So awesome. Make sure you go there. We want to support the local businesses, and shout out to Dan and Dan's parents.
Yeah, and again, that's occasion with 2 C's and 1 S. That word always tripped me up,
I've spelled it wrong the first 2 takes, so I really had to make sure I got it right this time.
I had to let him know. But listen, this could be your chance to throw your Project X. I mean, Indiana slated to be fully reopened July 4th, potentially?
I believe so.
And listen, you don't want to be out at the bars. It's going to be packed. They're going to be spreading disease. Throw a kickback, throw a barbecue, whichever one of your friends that has a lake house, someone take one for the team, rent a tent, rent a couple tables, and a few chairs. And enjoy
from All Occasion Tent Rental.
From All Occasion Tent Rental, thank you. But
yes,
what we still need to address, though, the elephant in the room, our unofficial sponsor, Redbox.
Redbox, baby, what's good?
I can't believe they tweeted at us.
Oh man. That was, I told you earlier, Kev, that when I don't really check our Twitter super often, maybe once a day. I know you check it a little bit more, not too much, but yeah, I came in, hadn't had my phone. I saw that you, for some reason, were on their Twitter profile, which I thought was pretty awesome. And then the fact that they responded to us just, really threw me off cloud 9. That's the happiest I've been in about 3 months.
Yeah, agreed. Let's see what for the listeners who don't follow us on Twitter, and if you don't, you should. If you're not on Twitter, stay off it. It's better for you to not see it.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
so this is the Redbox Twitter account's bio. It says they're actually based out of Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. So shout out the Midwest. It
Yep.
says, hit us up when your subscription service fails to bring you movies from this decade. And first of all, I just love that. I love that off the gun. But 2 days later, I'm kicking it with Jenna, right? Want to throw a movie on? Sure. We're scrolling on the flicks. We're scrolling on Hulu. And it dawned on me. It said Redbox is right. They don't got Netflix has they have some random classic movies, and then they have some early I feel like Netflix always has a weird selection of movies, and now you got all these Netflix originals, these Amazon Prime originals. If you just want to you just want to take your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, go rent a movie at Redbox.
Yes.
Go do it.
Go do it. Come on.
What do you got to lose?
Exactly. What do you have to lose? And also, they've got a great selection of games, TV shows, and movies. But yeah, as I alluded to, in our first take, and this is a point I feel like I need to make again. I feel like the Netflix and chill is just a tad creepy or super creepy. I don't know who actually uses that line. But if you say to anyone, it could be a crush, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, spouse, whoever. It could even be one of your buddies, whatever. Hey, let's go to Redbox. And then maybe afterwards, or probably before, we can frequent, say, a Red Lobster. I think that just lets them know that your intentions are pure.
Ooh, Red Lob or Red Rob? Red Robin? Ooh, hello?
Maybe a Red Lob combo. Maybe some takeout if you're not trying to go into restaurants yet. One carries out from Red Lob, the other carries out from Red Rob.
The opportunities are truly limitless. We ride for Redbox, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's all that needs to be said there, Kev. I feel like you pretty much summed it up. But I just want to say one quick thing about our sponsors. I still haven't really given up on Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I feel like that'd be kind of one of our long-term goals. If we could do Redbox and Enterprise, we're always going to be entertaining. We're always going to have a whip. So Enterprise, we haven't forgotten about you. We know you haven't forgotten about us. So we're just waiting to make that deal
exactly happen. Ideally, you you rent a car from Enterprise and use that to drive to Redbox to pick up a movie.
Exactly.
So who says this town's too big for two cowboys? It's not. Everyone can get in on this. You can give Enterprise your money while also giving Redbox your money, and also
yes, absolutely
keeping your significant other because they love you.
Yeah,
because they love you.
Redbox, yeah, and maybe after you do that or before you go to all occasion tent rental. So that's what's up.
But, I don't love the vote.
What do you not love?
That
Kev?
Apple Music still hasn't accepted Don't Know Radio as a podcast.
Yeah, that's really, I think, pretty crappy, for lack of a better term, Kev. I mean, it really grinds my gears. We're pretty much on every service out there. We have actually figured out how to get out there, which is pretty cool. I mean, SoundCloud and YouTube, we're pretty easy, but we're also on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker. You name it, we're on it, except for Apple Music. So we will be soon. So just hold your horses. We're going to get out there, but for now, you're just going to have to use something else, and we apologize.
Right. And it's not you said Apple Music, I think, on accident, but it's just like the podcast app. Whatever.
Apple Podcast.
Yeah,
you're right.
Whatever you would call that. Do you know, is there criteria? Who do I need to kiss on the lips to get us on Apple Podcasts? Tell me.
Well, I would,
my son Pierce.
Well, Pierce is a good option, Kev. When I was reading on the website, I was reading that Anchor doesn't really do it takes a while to get on Apple Podcasts, but I have been in contact with Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. And, he and Jeff Bezos, we've kind of been on a three-way call recently, Kev. And so I just wanted to let you guys know, our listeners, that we're working on it.
I get that. Since we're doing this through Anchor, there must be some sort of, some feelings of animosity between Anchor and Apple Podcasts. Anchor just...
There's probably some beef. There's probably some unknown beef.
I think just there's less barriers to entry with Anchor. so they're giving people a voice easier. Maybe Apple Music is a little jealous. I truly don't know. But
I don't know. This is our mystery of the week. So hopefully by next week we'll have it figured out, and you guys can listen to us basically wherever you want.
yeah. So all right, bet. I think that about covers our intro. Like we said, we we already recorded one take, and actually, let's say right now this is the last time we're mentioning it because I feel like we've already over mentioned it. But
Okay,
we
fair.
will keep. There's a couple things we did that we'll just keep because we like revealing the results of our playlist thing. I will go over my IDK of the week again, and then since we tweeted out that clip about Jenny from Forrest Gump, we got to talk about Jenny again, obviously. And that tweet's getting some love, but believe it or not, I would actually say my feelings of animosity towards Jenny from Forrest Gump have only grown greater since I last spoke about her. So we will get into
You've had time for it to resonate, so I feel that. But Kev, why don't on this podcast, if you're a first-time listener, we like to talk about a lot of things we don't know because a lot of people out there act like they've got their life figured out, and they may not, or maybe you're struggling with something right now. So we're just trying to relate to y'all. So I did live in Texas for 2 years, so that's why y'all. But Kev, why don't you give us your IDK of the week?
So my IDK of the week, I did not know this was a thing. But I'm back at my place in Indy, and we got a letter in the mail from the United States Census 2020, and it says your response is required by law. So I thought, all right. And then where is it? I gotta find this. And what do they say? Okay, so I'm curious, right? It's like the census is telling me I'm required by law to respond. First of all, how do they track who responds and who doesn't? Who's enforcing this? Like, what does this look like? What it says, if you do not respond promptly, we will need to send a Census Bureau interviewer to your home to collect your answers in person. Is that like a threat?
Yeah, that's like the most passive / worst threat I've ever heard in my life.
Define promptly.
Yeah, promptly, I feel like in these times, especially with the government, could be like 3 months at least.
Exactly. And it's like, who are they who is the United States Census going to send to my house? Like Dog the Bounty Hunter?
No, absolutely not. Do those that'd be
I would love to see the Hashtag and Slasher.
Yeah, that would be worth a census trip. But I mean, if you're a census interviewer, like, do you really take your job seriously?
I have so many questions, and here's the thing. I got the questionnaire right in front of me. They have enough pre-filled pages so that you could fill it up for 10 people in a household. But it basically just asks you to write out. The only thing you have to write out is your first and the last name, and then you just check a bunch of boxes, write your date of birth, and check a couple more boxes. There's like 5 questions. Seems really easy. But no way I'm going to do it if I can hopefully someone knocks on my door and comes inside my house and I could potentially have a new friend.
Right. Could you? Yeah, it's time. Kev, we've been kind of sequestered for a long time.
I just want someone to stop by and chill. Maybe have a beer with them. You never know. So I challenge, I implore. Well, actually, maybe I'm an idiot. So tweet at us if you know anything about the census, but I think it would be really dope if we started a movement to not fill out the census. And then, we'll just see what they do. That's all.
Right. We'll see what they do. And if you work for the government, maybe, and you're a census, you have to go to people's house and interview them, tweet at us and maybe we can get you on the show. Because I think that'd be hilarious and also informative because we really have no idea what's going on.
Which do you think is the more washed up department in our government, the Postal Service or the Census?
So I'm definitely going to have to right now go with the Census because the Postal Service has been on the come up since March, the middle of March because of COVID. So the Postal Service has kind of been on its grind because they've got so many packages. No one has anything to do besides send people packages and receive packages. So, they were definitely on the decline for such a long period of time. But right now, I have to go with the Census.
You got to go with the Census. I feel you on that. I really do. I mean, but the Postal Service was on the decline for
Oh, too
too
long.
long. So it's good to see them get a small win. But are they going to cover the spread, Vogues?
It's going to be tough. I might have to throw in a live bet here and there,
But
but we'll see.
here's my theory about the census, though, is that with everyone being quarantined, that might increase their numbers. They might get really good results of votes.
Maybe the best ever.
Yeah. How often do they do the census? Is it every 4 years, 10 years?
I think it's every 10 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I think my mom filled mine out for me. So appreciate that, Mom.
Shout out Mama Vogues.
Yeah. Appreciate that. But yeah, Kev, that's interesting. I never really thought about it that way.
So, anyways, what's your IDK of the week?
Yeah, so my IDK of the week is a little bit more depressing, I would say. I don't know if it's depressing. It's definitely something I've got beef with myself about, but it's going to be okay. So my IDK of the week is I don't know how to spell the word definitely. So, job interviews or applying for jobs, oftentimes you got to do it through email. And this is about 2 months ago, at least, where I applied for a job. And I said that I was, I spelled it wrong in the email about how interested I was. Kev, do you think you know what I said?
Defiantly.
I was defiantly interested for the job interview, which actually I believe means I wasn't interested because of the way it means. So, I look back at all my other emails I sent, and that was the only one. And they actually contacted me about interviewing, and so I was like, why in the hell are they not responding to me? And then I figured that out. So that was depressing, but I have some advice for the listeners. If you've got some applications or job emails that you have, don't go back through them. Obviously, proofread them, like crazy before you send them out. But there's no worse feeling than looking back on it. It's like the only feeling I could come up with is, if you're rounding third base, like headed for home in a baseball or a softball or maybe even like a kickball game, and you're too far to home plate to turn around, but the catcher's already got the ball, so you can't even turn around to maybe get yourself in perhaps a pickle situation. Right. So, and you want to run the catcher over, but in this situation, the catcher is like the Hulk. So don't do that. But also, definitely DEF.
Yeah. That
INITELY.
And that's a tough bucket, Vogues. But I just went onto my Google email and typed it out defiantly, and it autocorrected to definitely. Like I didn't even have to. Like the Google email is so smart, so I think they just said "fuck you, Vogel."
Well, that's the thing. I did it on Outlook. That was when I was still using my Outlook.
Oh, that hurts.
So that's my beef. I've got a lot of beef right now, but my beef of the week is definitely with Outlook. I've since switched to Gmail, and I usually use Gmail.
Gmail's great. It would do like, I don't know if it's like AI or they like have some intern that just kind of like watches my monitor and guesses. But like when you're typing out an email, like okay, like I'm gonna just pull up the email you sent me with this link. So it's like, hi David, what are you? Of course, now it's not doing it. But like if I was sending a professional email, I'm not making this up. It will like suggest words, and it's just much smarter than Outlook. But
yeah, I could type in please, and it would say, please let me know what you want. Like from me, thank you so much for your time. I'm like, wow, that was so fast and also super creepy. So yeah, that's my IDK of the week, Kev. But now I think it's time to address Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Yeah. So first of all, shout out our boy Connor Smith for putting us on to this. We and Connor, we're looking to get him on potentially as a guest with Gitter.
Yes.
Connor's a genius. Gitter and Connor are the two smartest people I know. And if I know you and you think you should be on that top two, I'm sorry, but it's them. So we are going to have an incredible discussion. We'll get into that at the end of the podcast, and like what that is going to look like. But I'm thinking discussion topics, some stuff about, I would like to talk about simulation theory. I want to talk about the future of Bitcoin. Talk a little bit about alternative medicines. It's gonna be a good chat. I'm stoked on it. It's gonna. If your third eye isn't open, stay closed.
Yeah, Kev, that sounds interesting to me, and like stuff I haven't. All right,
no, keep it.
No, we're keeping. I'm kidding. We're definitely keeping that. But yeah. So that sounds like a lot of stuff I just don't know about, and I'm really excited to get educated on that from two fine young gentlemen.
But anyway, so back to the subject. So we had tweeted out that Forrest Gump or sorry, I can't talk. We had tweeted out that Ferris Bueller was patient zero for COVID-19.
Yes.
I think, like, prove me wrong. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think
there's
that,
no proof against
I'll,
it.
I'll admit it. Seems likely. But anyways, Connor replies to the tweet and he says, "Nah, Jenny gave it to Forrest Gump. That's why she died and Tom Hanks got COVID. Hashtag stay woke." Thank you for that one, Connor. Which reminded me
Wow.
that Jenny from Forrest Gump is the absolute woke. The woke bugs.
Yep.
The worst of all time.
Would you say the worst of all time? Yeah.
Like,
I mean, why do you think that, Kev?
so, like, it's not. I don't know. I hope this rant captures half the magic of the one from the Twitter clip. But here's the main thing with Jenny, and I understand she had a really bad childhood, an abusive dad. So I totally, like, I'm not trying to cast her like as a bad person. Like, she obviously dealt with some shit, but she did Forrest wrong, and I will tell you what.
Dirty.
She did him dirt. All right. So first of all, they grow up together. They come up together. She knows that Forrest is special needs. Her whole life, while Forrest is just grinding, getting an All-American. Side note. Why didn't no one draft Forrest Gump in the NFL?
Yeah, that's something I've thought a lot about. Like, if we're talking about best movie athletes of all time, he's got to be up there.
Pooh.
What were the scouts doing?
I digress. Then he goes to Vietnam. Then he opens up his own shrimp company, and the whole time, Jenny's out there doing whatever she wants, having fun. It is what it is. But basically, she always comes back to Forrest for comfort or whatever it is. But then she leaves and she comes back. And then once Forrest is a millionaire and has built up this empire, mind you, all for Jenny. She finally comes back. She hooks up with Forrest Gump and dips in the morning. But dips, like, he waited his whole life for Jenny to finally just say, "All right, like, let's live out the rest of our lives together." They were meant to be. It was perfect. He was a millionaire.
And I mean, yeah, I get it if she doesn't want to be with him romantically, but you can't just dip on the guy. The guy is like the most lovable person of all time.
And then, 5 years later, she dies of what we presume is like HIV, AIDS, and then leaves the baby with Forrest Gump, who is the father, and she never bothered to tell Forrest Gump that he had a baby out there. So basically, like, a high-level synopsis of what Jenny did to Forrest Gump. She manipulated him to... Forrest Gump was probably the original simp. But you can't fault him.
He didn't know any better.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't.
So, like, then you obviously have he has a crazy story, so you love him as a character. But Jenny just manipulated him, got him, gave him one little taste and left, died, and dropped off a kid and said, "I'm out."
And said, "All right."
She said, "I'll see you in the next life." Crazy stuff. So.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, Kevin, I'm not super far off from where you are there. I'm not.
I don't think it's like a crazy hot take. I feel like, the average person probably agrees with that. But it just...
Yeah. I feel like, yes, I agree with that. I mean, I feel like she comes off a little bit as, maybe like a Southern, sweet person. But then if you really look at the grand scheme of things of what she did to Forrest, all throughout the movie and his life, it's pretty heinous.
That was the world's first toxic relationship. Thanks everyone for listening. Keep following us on Twitter. Keep reposting our content. Share with your friends if anyone likes it. Or if you know anyone you think who you think might like our pod, we'd appreciate that. It's going to be an hour solid.